Om. We are going to be discussing the number 5. 5 is a very fun number, and 5 is a number of fun. In this video, we're going to find out some success codes using Chaldean numerology, which is not being talked about very much. And it's being talked about in a mostly a superficial way, except for I do recommend Numerologist Pro. In this video, we're going to talk about success codes for 5. This is going to be very relevant for people who are born on the 5th, the 14th, the 23rd, or who are born in May, the 5th month, or people who have life path of a 5, or even people who are born, especially people who are born in a year that adds to a 5 as well, because the year is the unconscious, and that's the bottom of your psyche, the core of your psyche. Okay, let's jump right into the number 5. Let's talk about 5 in the sequence of numbers to get an understanding of where 5 falls in line, what is its mission, its purpose, and then how we can reverse engineer that to understand some of the common traits associated with the number 5. So 5 comes after 4. 4 is when something is squared away, when order is created, structure. 5 is the dynamicism within that order, within that structure. So 5 is designed to go out and connect individual parts. It's designed to create alchemy. That's why 5 is the number of alchemy, because 5 exchanges ideas in order to create a common unity or a community, because 5 has a 6 inside of it. We're going to talk about that in a few moments. So 5 is designed to be the curious adventurer, explorer. They love freedom. They're especially intellectualists. And there's a specific reason for that. They're considered to be very attractive and beautiful in a specific way. Relative to or in contrast to 6, 6s and 5s are considered to be both, and even 2s. They all have their own ways of being beautiful, but 5 in particular is connected to its purpose. Just like 6 is beautiful because it's a magnetic beauty. It's trying to pull you in to have children, to have a family, to lock you down. Because 6 is all about creating family, community, country, common unity. It's about creating a group of individuals who become one. So people with 6 energy, for example, here's a little side tip. They say people with strong 6 energy will have enhanced fertility parts. We'll put it that way. So women could be their hips, and men could be other things, because they're designed for fertility, to reproduce and to have the responsibility that comes with having children and family and all that. 5 is a different kind of beauty. So 23, for example, people are born on the 23rd or who have born on the 2nd and have a life path of a 3. There's a little another tip for you on how different ways you have different combinations in your charts to create these numbers. Are the supermodel number. This number 23 is associated with supermodels. 5 in general is considered this, and why this is because 5s have a little bit of an exotic look to them. It's because when they're going on through their travels and they're exchanging information, being a little bit attractive makes their job as far as their job in the natural order a little bit easier. When someone sees someone who's got a little exotic look to them, it's more easier to kind of allow them to come in and exchange information and make a little bit of a connection with, to network with them. Why 5s are intellectual is because it allows them to be free. If they catch feelings, so to speak, then they put down roots, then 5s can't do their job. 5s are designed to move around. They're designed for change and dynamicism. Therefore, they want to keep things intellectual. 5s are the ones who know a little bit about a lot, but their intellect is very powerful, because as a number of alchemy, not just with people and individuals, 5s can synthesize which is alchemize information very quickly. They can learn really quickly because they're designed to have these brief encounters with other people, exchange ideas, and then carry that information like a cross-pollinator and take it to another group and to another group and share what they've learned in their travels and their curiosities and their exploration, and to find common ground and to start creating some sort of common unity. So 5s are intellectual. They don't like to catch feelings. Now, of course, you have other numbers in your chart that are not just 5s, so you have to have an analysis of your chart to see what are the higher likelihoods for things being out of whack and what are some of your gifts. And real quick, if you want to get a reading, check out the description of the video. I'll link to my website where you can find information about that. So let's talk about 5s and the imbalance and start getting into these success codes. 5 in imbalance will be it'll be about addictions. Because fives in imbalance are looking for this, you're chasing six, which is this emotional feel good. But in balance, they're doing this in a very superficial way. Dopamine addictions, sex addictions, drug addictions, too addicted to like the thrill of like change and like not having any responsibilities. Instead of taking care of problems, they'll just pick up and leave and move. So this is an imbalance of five. Now, how to align the five correctly is through the inner digit. So if you write out five using Chaldean diamond, five, all single digit numbers are written 0 first. So 5 is 0, 5, where 5, 0 is 50, 0, 5. So you write a 0, 5 out, and then you create a triangle. So the top left of the triangle is 0. That's the outer digit. The top right is the 5. And the bottom point, which is the digit sum 0 plus 5, is the 5. Now, when the 5 relates back into itself, that's a 55/10/1. In other words, for layman's terms, a 5 has a 1 on the inside of it. This means that fives need to align themselves with a focus, with a purpose, with clarity of vision of what they're doing. And specifically, it's a number 10. So fives need to align themselves and do all their dynamicism and change by following synchronicities, because 10 is a number of synchronicities. In tarot, it's the Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune card, which is about these changes that happen that are kind of outside of control. It's like cosmic fate. And why is that? Well, let's look at the number 55. This is a master number. Now, if you understand something that I've coined cube dynamics, which is how numbers go to build time and space. I'm not going to go into explain that, but I'm going to take the 55 from that to give you an idea of what this number means and why this cosmic fate seems to happen. As above and so below. When the as above starts to have this dynamic change, it reflects in the outer world as some sort of synchronicity. It's basically the inner change becomes the outer change. And when the outer starts changing, it seems to the untrained eye disconnected from something. It just seems like this miracle, which is miracle means something that happens outside of your conceptual lexicon. But when things start changing as above, it's reflected as below, and these are these synchronicities. So for the fives, particularly our people who are born in the fifth or a 5 life path, there's going to be these synchronicities that manifest in your life. And I'll give you an example to land the plane on this. So we have a practical way of looking at this. Back when I was living in Portland, Oregon, I wanted to move somewhere. And all I knew is I had 3 main things. I wanted to live somewhere sunny, with a lot of sun. I wanted to be walkable. And I wanted to live by the water, somewhere with a beach. That was my intention. So number 1 is intention. I set an intention, and then I started. It's so funny because I'm looking back on this in hindsight, and it's totally a 5 thing, because what I did is I set my intention, and then I started asking around. I started networking, talking to my neighbors, talking to my family, and this is a really remarkable story. Shortly after I set that intention, I met 2 people who had traveled all over the world. One person, I think, was 50 plus countries. And I like to ask people like this who have traveled all over, if you could live anywhere, where would you live? Would you believe it that both of them said Puerto Vallarta? And then I started talking to my neighbors, and all of a sudden everyone's been to Puerto Vallarta that I had never even known. People I have talked to for years. So my neighbors are apparently fluent and know very well Puerto, but they've been going there for years. My mother's a financial advisor, has like a timeshare there. And her family's been going there for years. And everybody I have started talking to is telling me all these good things about Puerto Vallarta. Even where I was getting my hair cut, the ladies who were cutting my hair were all telling me about why I should go to Puerto Vallarta. This is an example of synchronicity. Following synchronicities. That is part of how I knew that I was supposed to go to Puerto Vallarta. Okay, and so this is like you set an intention, and all of a sudden you're in traffic, and like say there's a moving van, and then the moving van drives across your peripheral, and it's got like the estate on there, or some word on there that connects to your intention. It gives you a clue. It's like, oh my God, that's crazy. Or you start hearing your coworkers or colleagues having a conversation. Or someone on the radio starts talking about something you were just thinking about. Like, this is synchronicity. So this is an example. Fives are supposed to follow this. They're supposed to set an intention and then follow the synchronicities associated with that. Now, when they do this, it brings them such joy, such fulfillment. The inner 6, because it's got an outer 5, outer aura 5, inner aura 1, and that creates a 5 plus 1, 6. So it grounds the 5. It brings the 5. The 6 is like this. The intellect without the 6 is kind of dry. It needs to constantly chase like dopamine to get that little fix. That little, I'm gonna just go put a parachute on my back and go jump off a cliff to feel like I'm alive. That's not bad. It's just that 5 will have to keep chasing that, because what they're looking for, what they want and need, is the 6, that fulfillment. It also shows you that while 5s love to travel, and they do need to travel, they need to move around. If you're a 5 and you're stuck in a place and you've been in the same routine for years like this, you're going to be very, very depressed. And I guarantee you, if you're watching this and you're a 5 like that, you probably are depressed, because that's not how you're supposed to be operating. You're supposed to be flowing around and moving, dynamic and going with the flow. Now, 5s do like to come back to something. They do like to have emotional connections, the inner 6. While they may appear to be sometimes superficial, and sometimes like it's that guy who will just pick up and leave, and like it's really easy for the change is very, very easy for them. They do like to have emotional connections. So if you know a 5, one piece of advice is, just because the 5 changes, it doesn't mean that they don't want to have a connection with you. They're just doing what they're actually designed to do. They're the cross-pollinator. They're supposed to be changed, but they do appreciate and really crave and need emotional connections. They do want want a family. They want a family or a community, something to come back to, something to keep them grounded. Specifically, they're looking for a family or community who they can share their ideas with and share their stories and like share their adventures with. They love that. They love talking. 5s do love to talk, especially the 14-5, and I've seen this several times. 14-5s in particular, you guys love to talk. You guys can go out and just talk. And you guys are actually guys and girls are very, very good at holding attention. You have like a way of like making the conversation good. So 5s are masters of small talk. You guys are masters of small talk. When you're in balance, of course. You guys love it. Okay, I think I'll stop it here. The video is getting a little bit long, but I hope that you found this video useful, whether you are a 5 or whether you know people who are 5. This might start giving you some clues and some advice. Okay, you need to have an intention. Don't just be going willy-nilly trying to like stimulate your intellect. Have an intention, and then start looking out for synchronicities and follow those synchronicities. If you're a 5 and you're in a routine and you're kind of just dredging through this monotony, that you're going to be extremely depressed. You need to move around. It's very, very good. Travel is great for you. Okay, and have some emotional connections. Find a family, make that part of your intention, a family and or community or friends, people who will stand by you, who will help to bring some coherence into your life and some grounding. It's very, very important for you. Otherwise, you're going to be trying to fill that hole with quick stimulations and addictions. Okay, comments, questions, feedback. Let's get a discussion underneath this going. If you like this and you found it useful, give it a like so other people can find it as well. As always, if you want to continue learning, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Wishing you the best. Happy manifesting. God bless.